I think the private CEOs actually this time have already become the main part of the delegation, just to show the the reform and open up of our policy in China. China's economy actually has been slowed down in recent months, and this is we call the new normal of the China's economy. This is not a bad thing, actually, in my opinion. This is only the restructure of our economy for a solid foundation, so we can have a more healthy way of our development, for example, to protect the environment and to save more resources. This is actually a new normal of our economy. And if we look back at the history of our development, actually the private sector has contributed greatly to the development of our country. For example,
let me have
the
Professor
total
Tong.
amount.
Let me pause you right there for a minute. I want to let our viewers know that the Chinese president's airplane has in fact touched down in the United States. On your screen there, you're seeing President Xi Jinping's aircraft as it has arrived in Seattle in the United States. And of course, the plane has just arrived. We're waiting for him and for his wife, Ping Lei-wan, to come down from the gangway there. As you can see, there are lots of U.S. dignitaries who are waiting to meet the Chinese leader. This is President Xi's first state visit to the United States. Of course, he's been there before. He visited President Barack Obama at the Sunnyland Resort in California back in 2013. But this was his first official state visit. Now, what we will do is we'll go now to Professor DeLeslie, and Professor, going to pick up on where we were with the question with Professor Tong. It said that economic ties are the foundation stone, of course, between relations between the U.S. and China. So in your view, Professor, how are economic ties between these two powers helping to solve the contentious issues in, like, the political arena?
Well, I think it's hard to rely entirely on economic relations to solve the political problems, but the economic side has been a strong point and in many ways, as you say, a foundation for the relationship, and that creates a certain amount of momentum and a certain amount of ballast. So, I mean, of course, there are some frictions in the economic relationship too. We've got these issues of the Trans-Pacific Partnership versus the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership and all these other things at the kind of macro international economic level. But where you have two countries that are as deeply invested in one another as China and the U.S. are in the trade relationship, in the investment relationship, and just the strength of economic ties and the density of those ties, which I think is amply reflected in something like when the Shanghai stock market heads downward, it has a big impact on U.S. stock markets. And when U.S. exporters worry profoundly about slowdowns in growth in China and what it means for demands for their goods, those are all signs of just how densely connected the two countries are, such that letting the political problems get too severe, letting them interfere with the economic relationship is something that is very costly, and that there are a lot of constituencies in both countries that don't want to see happen. So in that sense, it creates interests and therefore will to address some of the political issues. But I think the bad news is you can't rely on it to translate directly. I think many of the areas where we have friction, whether it's over maritime security and geostrategic issues in the Western Pacific or cyber hacking or things like that, it's not that the economy is going to solve those, it's just that it gives us a good reason not to exaggerate those differences and to find ways to work through them lest they disrupt a quite valuable economic relationship.